I feel like we've got so many new weapons in Battlefield 5 with the Pacific patch that it's hard to know where to start. We of course got the 4 new guns without any assignments, but what some people may have not realised is that there's actually a couple of new guns in the Tides of War chapter rewards. If you reach rank 10, you can get the Jungle Carbine. Rank 23 is a new pistol, the Type 94 sidearm, and rank 30 is the Model 27 revolver. What's interesting here is that there is a way you can bypass the leveling up by just playing the game process if you want to, and pretty much get the guns instantly. For 150 boins or battlefield currency, you can rank up 1 Tides of War level. So depending on how many levels you are away from the guns, you could buy your way to them if you wanted. It's not like you can buy the guns directly, it just so happens that there is a system in place to gain Tides of War levels for those people who perhaps don't have the time to grind away for the entire Tides of War campaign. I've got the weapons unlocked already, and I wanted to see exactly what they were like and how they function. The Jungle name is the nickname of the gun, but in reality it was called the Rifle No. 5 Mark I. It was actually a derivative of the British Lee Enfield Mark No. 4 Mark I. There was a desire during the Second World War for a shorter and lighter rifle that certain troops, such as airborne troops, could use. The weapon was never officially called the Jungle Carbine though, it was just the name that was informally given to the rifle. The No. 5 MK1 was around 100mm shorter than the No. 4 it was based on, and around a kilogram lighter. They actually went to some serious lengths to reduce the weight, including lightning cuts in the receiver body, drilling out the bolt knob and cutting the woodwork. It also had a flash suppressor and a rubber butt pad to help absorb the increased recoil. Production only began in March 1944 and ended in December 1947. In the game though, the Jungle Carbine fits in with some of the other carbine weapons that we've had recently, and as such it sits in the medic class, the other carbines being the Commando Carbine and the M28 Condron Ponkino. Out of the box it's got the slowest rate of fire out of all of them at only 84 rounds per minute. The Commando Carbine has a rate of fire of 97 as standard, but as you may know, with that gun you can increase the rate of fire with the specializations, and that's the exact same for the Jungle Carbine. If you opt for the machined bolt specialization, you increase the rate of fire up to 95, and even with that spec, of course it still fires slower than the base value of the Commando. Bottom line, with all of the carbines using their increased cycle speed, the Jungle Carbine still fires the slowest out of them all. That being said, it's not all about rate of fire, and in the grand scheme of things, an extra 10 rate of fire isn't that much of a big deal. Where the Jungle Carbine seems to shine though is damage. First of all, headshots are key. If you land some nice headshots with it, it's so satisfying, and you're going to be putting out one-shot headshot kills at most ranges using this weapon. Even if you don't land a headshot though, you'll still be able to take enemies down in 2 to 3 shots at medium range, and if you get the faster cycle rate, you could end up picking enemies off at medium range with relative ease. These bolt action carbine guns are not for everyone though, but if you have some patience and good aim, you can really do well with them. It was the same deal with the Commando Carbine. It's not a gun that everyone will enjoy, but if you're accurate, you can really go on some nice streaks. You don't have to unscope after you shoot either. The plus side is that because it's on medic though, you've got unlimited heals, which is really useful. The only downside to this gun for me is that the hipfire isn't great. You can spec into improved hipfire if you like, but it really depends on how you're going to use the gun. In the end, I put a 3x scope on it and sat at mostly medium range. As such, I didn't really have any big problems with the hipfire performance. Let's talk specs then. So I went for quick aim, no shock there, it's my go-to, and then I moved from the right hand side to the left because simply I had to go for the increased rate of fire. So I got myself slings and swivels, which allows you to switch weapons 15% quicker, and then you get the machine bolt, which allows you to cycle the weapon quicker for a higher rate of fire. And last of all, I went for improved reload speed, only because of what I talked about earlier. The other option is improved hipfire, but because I was using this weapon at more medium ranges, I felt the reload would be more useful than the hipfire in that scenario. If you wanted to run around and use this gun with a lower magnification scope, then perhaps the hipfire could come in handy. What I do miss though on the right hand tree is the improved accuracy in aimed fire and while moving, and improved movement speed when aiming. That's the trade-off that you have if you want the faster rate of fire. but I'm happy with how I've got this set up. Now earlier I mentioned there are 2 new sidearms in the Tides of War Chapter XP2. The first one you get is the Type 94, and that's when you reach rank 24. This gun is a Japanese pistol, and it was originally designed for Japanese tank and aircraft crews who preferred a smaller, more lightweight design. It was mostly well received, although experts weren't all that keen on it, and the pistol was quite complex and awkward to disassemble. The quality of the gun's production also wasn't great, and the last of these pistols were made in 1945, and they were supposedly quite crudely put together. In BF5 it's an okay little sidearm. It's got 7 bullets in the mag, which is just about enough to take out a few enemies in a pinch. It's got a rate of fire of 450, which is the top end of the pistols already in the game, so it's definitely a quick firing gun, maybe something to consider for recons who love bolt action rifles for finishing players off. The other new sidearm is the Model 27, and that's a revolver, and we can always use more revolvers in my opinion. It was produced by Smith & Wesson, and when it was first introduced in 1935 it was known as the Registered Magnum. Incredibly, even though it was introduced during the Great Depression, Smith & Wesson actually found themselves backlogged with orders for the 4 years it was producing this revolver. In 1939 they stopped producing it, and it was replaced by the 357 Magnum. Now you could actually customize your Model 27 with various barrel lengths, different grips, front sights, triggers and finishers. In the end, the 5-inch barrel was considered by many to be the best all-around option, with the Model 27 being noted for its durability and reliability. In BF5, the rate of fire on the Model 27 is only 106, and that makes it quite low when compared to the other revolver, the MK6, which is 180. That's the biggest drawback of this gun, especially if you're used to the other revolver, because you're so used to that quick rate of fire that it can sometimes feel annoying that it fires so slow. That being said, it does pack a real punch, and that trade-off is more often than not a good one. You just really need to place your shots well and go for headshots, and you'll put out serious damage. Other than that, it looks cool. It's got a great reload animation, so what more could you ask for? Wrapping things up, if we include the 4 guns that we were given on launch of the Pacific and then the Jungle Carbine, that means so far we've got 5 primaries and 2 secondaries, and that's not including any of the weapons that are arriving in the weekly Tides of War challenges. I think so far it's pretty good. That being said though, some of those guns are going to take quite some time for people to unlock, because getting to rank 30 for the Model 27 may take some players quite a while. Now I've enjoyed playing with the new Jungle Carbine and all of the new guns actually. It's nice to be in a position where there are so many new toys and maps to try out in the game that it's exciting again. Who knows what the rest of Tides of War will bring, but what we do know is Wake Island is just around the corner, and I'm really looking forward to that. And that's all for today, guys. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you didn't, a dislike. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.